When we have eclipses, is because when, let's say, the south and the north node are in Sagittarius and Gemini. Therefore, every time the sun is getting close to the nodes, either the south or the north node, we get an eclipse. Now, we know it's affected us all year. For a year, since last May, we're talking about south node in Sagittarius, new moon in Gemini, and it's really the motive of that year and a half, of that 18 months. So everything is happening with one motive, with one focus. The focus is that Sagittarius and Gemini. We talk about it today, we talked about it so many times, like during the last year. But that's the focus of humanity right now, right? It's not a full solar eclipse because the sun is 9 degrees away from the node, so it's not really in conjunction to it. It's in conjunction, but not so close. Therefore, we're not going to experience a total solar eclipse. And so when we have the eclipses, it's just it's an emphasis. It's like that south node in Sagittarius in Gemini are, this is the theme, and now we are forced to pay attention. It's always there, but it's like a portal that is opening up, and decisions that we need to take. It's either we make decisions that we like to keep life just the way they are, and we like it, and we are on the right path, or we need to go, back and see where are we. It's like time to pay attention, so we don't live life just running 1 week after another, 1 month after another. We're paying attention. So when we have this eclipse time, it's an awakening. It's a portal time to say, like, how do I want to move on from here? Like in January, we make goals for the year, but just because it's the new year. But in the sky, we have those portals, that opening that is allowing us to make goals again, to check it out. Like, am I where I want to be, or I want to change, or I want to create something new in my life? And it's also let us find out, if I'm not in the place that I wanted to be, why am I not there? Why am I not there? What are the things that is stopping me to get there? What is basically where is my consciousness? Am I working together with me? Am I in harmony with myself, with in alignment? I don't know if I'm feeling good, even if I didn't achieve my goal yet. But am I in the right path? And am I doing? Am I thinking? Am I feeling what I'm supposed to feel? So it's really, and it's a new moon, and obviously the Rav always say, and it's actually from the Torah, right? So the Torah, the first thing that the Creator is telling the people of Israel, that they need to count the new moon. All right, they need to bless the new moon, and there's also the Creator doesn't tell them exactly when is the new moon, so they can choose. Anyway, we're not going to go into this. We spoke about it in the past. But yeah, so we are in the seed level. Kabbalistically, we're entering to the month of Tammuz. Tammuz is the month that rules the sign of Cancer. And the eclipse is actually it's a new moon in the sign of Gemini. So the eclipse, the sun is in the sign of Gemini. Not only it's in the sign of Gemini, it's also conjunct Mercury. Mercury 19 degrees, the eclipse is 20 degrees. They're really, really close to one another. And Mercury is in retrograde in his own sign. So it's really about the communication, and it's about knowledge. All right. I'm not going to say a lot because we're really talking a lot about it during the year, because that's the path we are taking. So everything that we are learning, we're always connecting it to the north and the south nodes. If you take classes with me for a while, since May, that's what we're talking about, and we're going to talk about it until the end of the year. And at the end of the year, the nodes will move into Taurus and Scorpio, and then we will shift the theme. It's not about shifting, it's about every sign is built on another. Okay, it's not random. Okay, that Gemini will come after Taurus, and Taurus will come after Aries. There's no random, there's no mistakes. Every sign build on one another. When Pisces is the last one, and it's that we have now Jupiter in Pisces, and that's why we said it's time to end things. It's an end. It's an end of an era. We already talked about it on December of 2020. We started that. And with Jupiter, we're making sure that we really gather everything together and we move on. Anyhow, it's important to sit today, to take the time to meditate, to ask, where am I? Am I in the right place? Am I living according to old belief system, to old old feelings that I have? Let's say I wanted to take an interview and I went and I was not accepted. And I can tell myself, but I went to that interview, I wanted that job, it didn't work. Take it again. It's time to do things again. All right, not to fall, okay, I didn't manage to do it last time and I don't have more information, I didn't get better, why would I take it again? Because take it again. You wanted to, whatever goals you wanted to do, all right, you wanted to meet new people, and you went out and you didn't meet new people, and you was like, you know what, it's not gonna help. Do it again. Like everything that you tried in the last year, or even before, that it didn't work, that it didn't bring good results, do it again. That will break through that belief system that maybe it doesn't work, and you are daring to go into, you're daring, almost like failing, so it didn't work before, so what? Let me try again. And if it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. What do I have to lose? I'm gonna feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna feel pain because I don't like the rejection. And okay, so feel the pain, handle the pain, and just do what you need to do in order to get to the place that you want to get. It's not easy, but this is the effort that we came here to do. When we are doing that effort, when we are not afraid to be rejected, when we are not afraid to fail, when we are not afraid and we are willing to take it anyway, it will open up, because it must open up. Everything has to do with our own correction. Everything has to do the way we see life. And Gemini is new information. Gemini is curious. Gemini wants to know more. There is so much more to life than we already think we know. After the people of Israel left Egypt already, and Pharaoh realized they left, it says in the Torah, ואמר פרעה לבני ישראל, נבוכים הם בארץ, סגר עליהם המדבר. Pharaoh told to the people of Israel that the people of Israel out there in the desert, they're going back and forward, they're probably lost because the desert closed on them. But how can he talk to the people of Israel, the Midrash says, if the people of Israel already left Egypt? And Rashi said it's Datan and Aviram that stayed. So how, how they were with the people of Israel? They crossed the Red Sea and they saved. I mean, if they're with Pharaoh and they ran after Moses and the people of Israel, they were supposed to die in the sea, right? Because all the Egyptians died in the sea. And Rabbi Melubavitch is saying, in the Torah, it's written that the people of Israel already passed to the other side. And then the Egyptian, וירדפו מצרים ויבואו אחריהם, and then the Egyptian came and the sea closed on them and they died. And after all these stories, it says again, ובני ישראל הלכו ביבשה בתוך הים והמים להם חומה מימינם ומשמאלם. It says again that the waters stand. After everything, the Torah is going back, and like I said, the Torah is not really generous with words, and talking about again, and the Midrash says that the Creator opened the sea for Datan and Aviram only. He opened the sea for them again. Now, what's, all this? And of course, Datan and Aviram, when every time the creator say to do something, Datan and Aviram were the one who disagree. And they always, every time the people of Israel say, we want to go back to Egypt, it's also Datan and Aviram. So you know that those people, okay, were really coming from the side that, there's no one to talk with. And again, I'm going back to the questions of why Moses went to them. And the Torah is saying, Vayakam Moshe vayalech el Datan v'Aviram. And Moshe got up and he went to Datan and Aviram. When he said to Datan and Aviram, come, I want to talk to you, let's fix it. They said, no, we're not coming. Vayakam Moshe, it means Moshe got up, and we're talking about spiritually got up. Because thinking about leaders today, a leader wants to talk to someone and that someone doesn't want to come. Will the leader go to them? Will the ego allow them to even go? But not Moses. Moses didn't care with the fact that that he knew 100% that they only will try to put him down. He still did everything he could. He went to them. He got up. Vayakam, it means to get up, to elevate yourself and to elevate from the ego and do what you need to do. Elevate from the calculation, elevate from what you think needs to happen, how things needs to happen. It just went above it and it just did what he needed to do, that he will know that he did everything in his power to prevent the chaos that is about to happen. He knew what is going to happen. He knew that. So he went there and they came out of the tent. It says nitzavim, with all this ego, what do you want from us? And he was still talking to them and was trying to convince them, and he was trying to tell them, please don't do that because the land will open up and you're all going to be swallowed. He knew what's going to happen, and they're like, no, they didn't want to listen to him. And there's few lessons here. One more thing, I'm sorry. The reason why, because the Torah explained, the Midrash explained why Moses was not naive and Moses was not stupid. Moses remembered that when Pharaoh brought another decree to the people of Israel, he remembered that Datan and Aviram, they heard for it and they cared for the Israel. And they really, fight with Pharaoh, and they didn't care that maybe Pharaoh will kill them. They really risked their life. And the Midrash is saying here that there's many people in our life that we don't like, that is even hurting us. All of us has one person at least that is always is in our face, and he's always trying to hurt us one way or another. But Moses, was able to connect to the big picture, because he said, maybe they don't like me. They didn't want to see me as a leader, but they like the people of Israel. So every person that maybe doesn't like us has a lot of good things, that are other things that are good about them. And Moses knew that because of that spark of light that they have within them, I will never give up, even if I need to get up from my own place and I need to go to them because they have that spark. I'm not letting go. I still have a hope that maybe because of that spark will lit and something will change, and maybe we can save that, that chaos that we have. And Moses, gave them that chance. And many times we learn mercy, unconditional love, patience, all these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful words that we really need to give a chance for everyone. And what we can learn from that is also we need to give a chance. Even Moses, with all the bad that they did to him, he still gave them a chance. But that energy of Pisces, Neptune and Pisces and Jupiter in Pisces, has energy of denial. On the good side, it has the energy of really elevating yourself. Vayaka Moshe, we can really elevate ourselves to a place that we don't care about our ego. And if there is something, or our fears, the ego is also the fears, the things that is not allowing us to be who we want to be, or to achieve things that we want to achieve, or to be with people that we want to be, because we have ego about it, right? So that's the good side of it. Like, yes, unconditional love, wonderful, given chance, see the good in people, amazing. But also we cannot be in denial. It means Moses didn't think that they are good people. Yeah, they did a good things. They have other sides. But they knew for a fact that they're going to hurt him, and really there's nothing really to talk to them, because they, like I said, the only time they're going to be happy if they see Moses, elevate himself to the upper world and stay there, right? So he was not in denial about who they are. Okay, sometimes we have people in our life, we know these people are not good for us, and we don't want to be their friend, and we don't want to be close to them. But we don't need to have hate towards, okay? We don't want to have hate or resentment, or all that negative feelings that are hurting us. They're hurting the other person, but before they're hurting the other person, they're hurting us. So all the resentment and all that extra emotions and all that extra victim, it's not going to help us. We need to see the good in someone else, but it doesn't mean we need to be their friend. Many times I hear people that say, yes, this is not a good person, but aren't we supposed to be in human dignity? And they keep, going with the same people, and they still going through experience with the same people, but those people are not good for you. You don't need to hate them, but you don't want to be their friend as well. Okay? I'm not here like, on the contrary, or we're not trying to create a, separation, because this is exactly of what we want. Because you see, if we're in people's life that is hurting us, we create separation like that, because it's enable us to continue to be victims and to be martyrs. And that South Node in Sagittarius together, Sagittarius and Pisces are both signs that controlled by Jupiter. They are both signs, they're a lot in common, right? That martyr. So Pisces is more a martyr, and Sagittarius, I'm going to save the world. I'm the spiritual leaders who know everything, the self-righteous. That's self-righteous, and that's a martyr. In their negative side, they have a lot of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sides. So when we are supposed to leave the South Node in Sagittarius, okay, we don't want to be that self-righteous, or Jupiter in Pisces, we don't want to be martyr. We're not here to sacrifice, and we don't want to live in denial. Gemini is the truth, right? The absolute reality, not truth, the absolute reality. What is the reality? What is the facts? The fact is that person is not good for me. I don't hate, I don't resent. If they're going to ask me for help, maybe I'll even choose to help them. But I know who they are. I know what's the situation. I see the reality the way it is. I'm not trying to make it beautiful. I'm not trying to lie to myself. And unfortunately, if you really see in the world, there's so much lies, social media and all the media, you'd never know what's right, what's wrong, who's faking it, who's not faking it. We really, and we talked before, we really need to research and to know, if someone say, again, I don't know, that person is great, and that person is awful, right? Choose, make your research, what is the true? Read, from the person, what is believes, what is, let's say if it's someone from the government, this is what I believe, and see if you can go with what that person represents, not from what people say, because people say their opinion, and you cannot be affected. We cannot be affected by people's opinion. We want to research about government, research about these corona things and vaccines, research about who's good for us and who's not good for us. Research, see the reality just the way it is, not to be in denial, not to be self-righteous. We're not here to save people who don't want to be saved. If we want to save people who don't want to be saved, we become martyrs and we enable them to be victims. When you see someone who's a victim and you don't give him the power to change, and you just feel sorry for him and do his fights and fight his fights and making him the victim. You enable them to be a victim. We cannot enable people to be victims. So we want to see reality just the way it is, and it's a great gift that the universe is giving us, because we all live in so many stories. We need to tell ourselves a different story. Enough with the old ones. Datan and Korach, Datan and Aviram, Bnei Eliav, and On ben Pelet. And On ben Pelet is because when he came home after this, meeting that they had with Moses, he went home to get prepared for going out, and they wanted a fight. It was a big fight needed to come. His wife told him very nicely, says, okay, so let's say Korach will get the job. How it's going to change you? Is it going to change you? What will change in your position? And On ben Pelet said, nothing. So he said, so why are you fighting a fight that is not yours? What do you know? Oh, because it's not fair, and it's a family business, and it's not fair. He says, but what difference does it make for you? And if it's the leader is not going to be you anyway. If it's not going to be Moses, it's going to be Korach, right? Datan and Aviram are just the snakes that are trying to create. They didn't even want to be the leaders. They just want to make chaos, and machloket, disagreement. All they wanted to do all the time is to create disagreement that Moses will not going to be the leader, but Korach will be the one who's going to lead. So what's to you? And she didn't told him, today's like, no, you're not going to that meeting, I'm not allowing you to. But she was very smart. She asked him questions so he can understand by himself that he's not really on the right path. And sometimes we like to tell people how to act, or if it's couples, we go with that, like, I'm going to tell you what to do and you're not going to go, and I don't agree. But she was smart, very, very smart. King Solomon gave her a name. I wanted to write it down and I forgot. Anyway, but King Solomon say about her that she's very, very, very smart, because she knew how to reach him. She knew she wanted something that he didn't want, but she knew how to talk to him so he will agree, instead of creating again separation between those two. And it's a side story. It's a side story, but it's also very powerful when there are many powerful lessons. And remember, the lessons from the Torah come with energy. So when we read the Torah, it's not just a story that we read. We get the story and the lessons with the energy that we need to actually make it happen. All right? And when the land swallowed Korach and Datan and Aviram and 250 others, On ben Pelet and his family was saved because of that. I make the story of On ben Pelet short. There is more to it if you ever want to read the Midrash. Okay, so we said one thing: when something is yours. Don't look at others. Do whatever you can to do what you can do, and there's enough for everyone. There is everything for everyone in this world. We just need to follow our path and to know that everything is going to happen when it needs to happen. All right, that's one story, one focus that we want to have. And second is to really see reality the way it is, to give people chance to see the good in people, not to accumulate bad feelings and hate and resentment towards people, is to really know that those people somehow in their life with other people, they're good people. All right? But not to live in denial, to really see the truth about how these people, about my life, how this situation is about my life, and live according to reality and not enable victims. Not enable ourselves to be a victim and not enable others to be victims. And the last focus that we want to have, or it's not a focus, it's really an understanding that Moses and Aaron came from the place of the holiness, and Datan and Aviram came from the place of darkness. and see how the Creator saved them. He opened the sea specifically just for them to cross, to be with those Aaron and Moses. Why? Because we have to have that opponent. We always have to have that opponent, because without this opponent we will not be able to grow. And it gives us the energy to overcome the domain of the Satan, because they came from the other side, from the Satan, from the Satracha. But Moses, was trying to do everything he can. But the light was with him. And at the end, at the middle of the portion, that they actually made the test. And very briefly, the Creator said, bring all your stuff, the stuff of Aaron, the stuff of Moses, and from each tribe, and from the tribe of Levi, write the name Aaron. And he took all the stuffs together, all the 12 tribes, because they asked the Creator, whoever is the real leader, is the real priest, okay, the real Kohen, which is Aaron, his staff will grow leaves, all right? And the staff of Aaron grow leaves. Now, of course, the staff is a piece of wood, but it's not attached to any root, so you cannot really, it's beyond nature, it's above nature. And that power of miracles that we have in this portion too, that whenever it's the right time for us, we are not victims, we are not losers, we are not anything, all that negative thoughts. When it's going to be a time for us to grow, that stuff will grow leaves, and we will see that we can make it. But when we take our own responsibility and we know for sure that we can make it, it's just going to take time, one step at a time. Remember Gemini, one step at a time. We will be able to achieve what we want to achieve if we're willing to do the work for it.